The Central Club.
What's going on, people? Welcome to the Central Club. This episode is brought to you by Reinspire Printing and Weekend Defender. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the club, and hit the bell button to be notified of future content. Today, we have a very, very special guest here at the podcast. It's actually a guest we had on a couple months back, but we didn't end up releasing the podcast due to technical issues. I was devastated at that because the conversation we had was amazing, and I think it would have been very beneficial for you guys. But like me and him said, everything happens for a reason, and you know, when we did it in the Fairwater pub, so it wasn't in our brand new studio. So I think it's definitely worth the while to be here now in the headquarters to have this conversation. And if it's anything like the previous one, you're in for a treat. So I warmly welcome the Grime legend, the DJ, the man, the myth, Mr. MAK10.
Thank you.
What's happening?
Yeah, I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I'm okay, bro. Thanks for coming down again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I know, mate, because I was devastated, really, because I thought that conversation we had was really, really good. Like, I think it was beneficial. I think what a lot of people don't know about your journey, which we'll find out, is you're not just a DJ, a good DJ, a legendary DJ.
Yeah.
But you've had your adversities through life as well. And I remember kicking myself when Harrison said, I think we might have to do this again, because the conversation we were talking about, I think, will help a lot of people. But like we both said, everything happens for a reason, and I think that this time is going to be the one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, what I really liked about the last conversation we had was that it wasn't just about all the gory stuff. We spoke about how and the hope of getting out and what you can achieve once you stop doing the certain things that I was doing, which we'll probably speak on. But that's what I liked about that conversation, because for me, it's important to get that message across, not this all the glorifying of that like type of lifestyle, how it can be perceived sometimes.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, and I think that's what I see quite a lot of on social media, because I feel like recovery, let's say, that recovery thing is, whether it's by accident or not, it's like a bit of a trend at the moment.
Yeah.
And everything I see is that glorifying.
Yeah.
You know, they might have like a message at the end, but it's grabbing people by the glorification, and then it's like the recovery is possible rather than...
Yeah, and to be fair, look, the type of person who this is going to resonate with, in my opinion, they know how to use drugs. I don't need to tell people what happens when you use them. I can tell you the pain I was in when I used them, looking back in hindsight. However, how do they get out of it? How did I get out of it? That's what's important. I don't want to hear what I was doing, like all of that sort of stuff, me looking on, like, yeah, because that is potentially enabling someone. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not here for that. I'm here for a message of, look, this is how I've turned my life around, and you can do it too. That's my message.
Yeah. And I think one thing that I find with the talk of recovery and stuff is a lot of people don't want to hear it because they feel like it's that brick wall. If you know, it's facing the music, and I don't want to face the music. But what a lot of people don't understand is the reward when you face that. People think it's the end, like the game's over, the fun's over, but it's not. There is so much more to life after that, and I think that's what we got to paint the picture of as well.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. That's when life starts.
Yeah.
You know what? When I found recovery, and look, shall I go back?
Let's go back.
Let's go back.
Let's
go back. So, obviously, look, I was using cocaine for 23 years. Yeah, straight 23 years from about the age of 17. Throughout that whole period, I went through many different things in my life, yeah, that I felt was normal, even growing up. I mean, being in the household I was in, my brothers are bad boys, all of this sort of stuff. There was a lot of violence around, a lot of stuff that if I saw my child in today, I'd be like, what the hell is going on? But that's no one's fault. I'm not blaming anyone. That's just the way we was brought up, and that may have been the way my parents was used to being brought up, but they wasn't. But I'm not blaming anyone is what I'm trying to say. But my surroundings at that time wasn't normal for someone of my age. So 13, 14, seeing violence, seeing a lot of stuff that I shouldn't be seeing, or hanging around with people I shouldn't have been hanging around with. I was always around the older lot. I had to wear a mask. I was never that way inclined. I was always pretending, wearing a mask, all of that. I had no confidence. So my way of finding these things was drinking and smoking weed. Those was my ways of finding confidence. I drunk. With the minute I drunk, I become loud, confident. When I smoked weed, I became funny. I didn't know I was filling a void with something. I'm trying to replace what I don't have with some substance, yeah? So that initially is what it started from. Me seeking validation, let's say. From that point onwards, I found music, and I also found women, that I get attention from women because my brothers are bad boys. That's the reality of it, yeah? Because back then there's no social media. You need to think anyone that's a bad boy, that's your thing, you're popular. So me being the younger brother of them, women was attracted to me at that stage in my life. And I took advantage of that, but not only did I take advantage of that, I started having a lot of babies. Yeah. So
it's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, so I found that I was, looking back, I'm always fixing on something. It was good. Alcohol, then weed, women. Then when music come into my life, now I'm on pirate radio, age 15, going to school, people got tapes of me, all of that. So now I'm getting validation. My whole thing was validation and confidence because I was making up for what I felt I didn't have, what everyone expected of me. Because I had an expectation put on me. You're this one's brother, you should be this way. And no one said that. I felt I should. Yeah?
Yeah.
So
you think that's what they think?
That's what they think. And I felt that there was an expectation of me to be like that. So I had to wear it. I had to. And I used to play up to it. So all of this sounds like it's nothing to do with addiction, but it's everything to do with addiction, because all I'm chasing is I'm looking for external stuff to fix myself. And that's what addiction is. Yeah, because I don't like how I feel, so I want to change it somehow. So for me, someone like me with those feelings, if I take a substance to change how I feel, the minute I'm off and running, because I haven't addressed what's really going on. And this is where the issues start with addiction. I think I'll let you speak, because
What's going on, people? Really sorry to crash midway through this episode, but we've got an important announcement to make. As you know, from day one, we have been giving you exclusive content week in, week out. And we've even built 3 studios from scratch, which has been a bit of a graft, to be fair. Well, now we're asking for your help in return. We promise to give you exclusive content, behind the scenes footage, reaction videos, and documentaries if you really support us by signing up to our Patreon. The description is below. Stay central. Oh no, it's. I think you're banging straight on the head of the nail with this. Like, I think what you're saying is what a lot of people are going through right now.
Yeah.
Do you think that you wasn't the only one who was acting as well? Like, the only one who weren't about that in the circle? I'm not saying like, you know, they were in.
Do you know what?
A lot of people go through this, don't they?
A lot of people go through it, but I can only talk on my experience. I don't know what anyone else is going through, but I do know, since being in recovery, that a lot of people are going through this, and I can see it now. I'm on the other side of it. Yeah, so how can I put this? I've lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
So
let's before we go any further, then let's address the surroundings. Let's address your upbringing. Let's address who your brothers are.
Yeah.
Let's do that, and then.
All right, cool.
So where are you from?
So I'm from Plaistow in East London, yeah?
Yeah.
So I was brought up in a household. My dad's from Jamaica, born in Jamaica. My mum's English, but Caribbean heritage, Jamaican, all of that, yeah. And it wasn't like my mum's well educated. You know, my dad's a drummer. In my household, his band would come and then they'd be playing music in the house. So they're rehearsing in the house. A lot of weed, a lot of alcohol. It's Jamaican. You know what's going on. A lot of music, just vibes. Yeah. But then there's also, that becomes normalized. There's people drinking and smoking in my house from a very young age. And I just saw that as normal. So for me to go and start smoking, that was normal. My brothers, yeah. You know my brothers are. I'll be up Marcus Nasty. And I got another older brother. But
older than Marcus?
Older than Marcus, yeah.
Okay.
So, but they used to get into a lot of altercations as young kids.
Yeah, well, some people would say Marcus Nasty was like the Shook Knight of the grime scene, some people would say, or the garage scene.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that, yeah. I'll let him tell his own story still. But what I'm going to say is that was the normal for me to see what was going on around them times. And there was a lot happening. Let's just say a lot that I shouldn't have seen at the age I was at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and at these times, how you was 15, 16 when you started DJing pirate radio and shit like that.
Yeah.
Was that garage at the time? Was that grime at the time?
That was garage. That was garage. So I was playing garage up until about year 2000. So, yeah, I was playing garage at first.
Okay. And what year is this about?
About 95, 96.
Oh, so very early then, yeah.
Yeah, very early, very early. I used to walk to the radio about 7 to 10 miles away at 4 in the morning to play at 4. I'd leave mine about 2. It was a very long walk. I had this record bag. I was like a stick back then. And I used to walk with this record bag.
Swaying.
Yeah, swaying, leaning to one side, literally, to get to the radio for 4. I'd finish at 6, walk home. Sometimes I'd go to school that day. Sometimes I wouldn't, because my school schedule was just, that was how it was. The school told me, just come in and do the lessons that you like. It was almost like I was doing what I wanted from.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just picked up, I do what I want, get away with what I want.
Why do you think they done that? Because normally when I hear stuff like that, it's because you're a troublemaker and they don't want you in the school.
Well, you could say that. But for me, I remember feeling like they'd given up on me. I felt like that, so I didn't care. I remember feeling like that.
Shit feeling though, innit?
Yes, and I'll tell you how mad it is. Because you've brought this up for me, I'm just thinking, still used to go to school on my days off. I'd just walk up there at lunchtime. I'd walk up there at the end of the school, and then I'd walk back. That's what I'd do. Or I'd stay in my house, I'd DJ, make a tape, and then bring the tape down to the school, and then go home.
Shot a couple of tapes today.
Give them away.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what it was at them times, isn't it? You just want people to listen to it.
Yeah, basically.
But you know, it's mad you say that, because I think that plays a part in life as well, school. Yeah. Because I remember in year 10 and 11, my last 2 years, when I kind of did sway off. Like, I wasn't a bad boy. I was a pain in the ass. And they would say, you're not coming into school, you're going to Imtech, which was like down Dunballs Road. It was a music place where they had like a recording studio. You had where Cardiff Bay FM was, the actual radio station. You could learn a guitar, you could go on Fruity Loops. It was all that, but it was like for the naughty kids. Yeah. And I remember like I'd go to school in the mornings, because that's when our bus would pick us up. And like all my mates who were children were going to class, and I was going, and I like, whether it did or not, so I know I enjoyed doing it, but subconsciously that done something to me. Like I felt like an alien. Like, I mean, I felt like no one wanted me. Like they gave up on me, that.
You know what's funny? You know how many times I see podcasts or interviews or whatever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this teacher said to me X, Y, Z." Do you know what? I remember mine as well, but I've never brought myself to ever say, "Oh yeah, this teacher told me, don't worry about him, he's going to end up in the gutter." But why do I remember that still? And it's never left me.
Yeah.
I don't know why that happens, but all the teachers who do that, stop doing that, because we never forget.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've never forgotten. It might just be a passing comment from them, but I've never forgotten.
Well,
I don't know if it has any relevance. It doesn't matter to me.
And did they know about your music stuff and that as well? Like, were they like crack on with it? And
No, they didn't. I didn't. It wasn't even a thing then. I didn't even know where music would take me, to be fair. I didn't. I used to dream and have the ambition for it to be something, but I didn't know, would never have envisioned.
Yeah, because in a way you could say like they done you a favour. Like, yeah, you just go do your music, mate. Like, because it has taken you places, haven't it? It's taken me places.
It's taken me places, but it's also taking me to the wrong dark places, yeah, as well. But that's no one's fault. I need to take accountability for my actions.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on with me. I'm like, unfortunately, like, I'm not well. I wasn't well, and I had to do the work on myself to find out what was actually going on with me.
And you say like as well, like my brothers are this and that. Like, were they influential in the music scene at that time, or were they like musically into stuff at that time as well? And maybe you felt like you had to be.
No. I started the music thing on my own accord. I mean, I've told this story many times. We used to have blueses in my house. Like, a blues is like a house party, basically. Yeah. Caribbeans call it blues, yeah? And they'd set up shop in there. There's alcohol being sold. It starts at about 2 in the morning and it goes on to about 10 a.m. or 7 or 8 or whatever. But it's in a house. The windows are blacked out. It's a party, but it starts after midnight, yeah? It's just crazy, yeah? Sound system, all of that. So we used to have those in my house, yeah?
But
yeah. But it was part of, this is what I mean. It's normal, isn't it?
Yeah,
for me, it was normal. But I used to always be interested in the sound system. And what would happen, the person whose sound system it was would come the next day and take the sound system back. So I had about 1 to 2 hours when I got up to go over there. And I'd be over there, you had me looking at everything. And then what started to happen, I'd never forget, sitting on the stairs, drawing 2 turntables and a mix on a shoebox, and we're trying to pretending I was DJing. But those things, one day I went to my friend's house and he had decks. And then I just thought, I really want to do that. I was always wanted to do it. And also my cousin had shown me, who is a similar age to me, he's like literally months older, and he was mixing jungle. And I was amazed that he could do it. And then I was trying to learn it. I never got it. And one day I just got it. But what I'm trying to say is that I always wanted to do this before anything.
And for, like, obviously it's second nature to you. Is it hard to DJ? How long, like, at the beginning, did it take you a while? Is it like driving a car, like learning how to drive? And
I'll tell you what, without sounding, I didn't find it difficult. I'll tell you what I found, learning to control it, just learning how much I need to maneuver things, like the speed of them and stuff, was just learning that, the rhythm of how the decks work. That's all. Once I had that, I didn't find it difficult.
Yeah,
if I'm honest.
And so do you think it's got to be? Do you think it's part of it's got to be in you as well? Like, if you've got no rhythm, you ain't a DJ.
No, you can, especially now. I think there's a lot more that goes into DJing than just putting 2 beats together, and it's really important that people understand that it's definitely an art form. There's an art form. There's so many intricate parts that go into being a DJ at a high level that people don't see. They just see you standing there with your headphones on, cutting and stuff. It's really not. Yeah.
I don't want to, like, you probably won't say because, it's still something that you're proud of doing, and it is tough. But do you think DJing has gotten easier as technology's moved on?
It's got easier, and I think it should do. I don't see anything wrong with people being able to pick the decks up and just DJ. There's different levels, there's different things, it doesn't matter. As long as they're delivering a performance to the audience and they are happy, they're enjoying it, that's all that matters. Like, all that stuff, like, oh yeah, you need to do this, and they can't play vinyl, or they use the sync button. For me, it don't bother me, because I can do that. But why should it affect me?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you left school, what? You just left school. Did you work? Did you get a job or anything? Or no?
I tried to work. It never ever worked for me. And then that's another thing. From a young age, I always knew I wanted to work for myself. I didn't ever want to live the life that I was living. I saw my mum work 3-4 jobs. She's a super grafter. I never wanted that for myself. Yeah. I've always wanted to. I just saw things that my upbringing shaped me in so many different ways. I mean, I just didn't want that for myself. I always was looking for a way out. And I got myself into a lot of trouble doing that as well. But I've always been looking for a way out from young.
Yeah. So when did like the MC kind of element come into it, like with you as being a DJ?
It was always there. So what would happen when I was sort of DJing in my bedroom and stuff, my friends would come over. We used to listen to Sun City tapes, Garage Nation tapes, La Cosa Nostra tapes, all the old garage tapes, as well as drum and bass. The jungle was first. So we would all be spitting like their lyrics in the playground. So by the time I'm like DJing in my room, I've got Creed on the mic, I've got PSG on the mic, my friends, the friend versions, like they're spraying their lyrics. I
was going to say, you agree?
No, not yet. But then obviously I'm DJing and I'm EZ or I'm Carl Tough and Off Brand. So it's like the similar.
It's like being football, bro.
Football,
I'm Rooney.
I'm Rooney. I'm Ian Wright. Yeah, as a kid, it's the same thing. So we was doing that sort of thing until it blossomed into finding my own identity.
And when did that come? Like, how many years into that would you say of you actually doing this for fun or as a hobby to actually like, yo, I'm actually a good DJ and I'm going to start a crew?
I didn't start the crew. So Marcus started the crew. And he was on Flavour. I was still playing garage at that moment. And when he went away, he asked me to take over. So that's how that happened.
Yeah, go on. Can you explain how it come about? That's the crew?
Yeah, of course.
Wait. Like, one of the most legendary staples, you know, if you're a Grime kid or you're into UK music, you know how Monumental, Nasty Crew are.
Yeah. So that started with Marcus, Sharky Major, and Stormin. And I was sort of playing garage at the time. It went on to a sort of darker garage around that time, and I was playing two-step stuff. But then Marcus, Sharky, and Stormin was playing a sort of darker garage. And then Armour joined. Marcus went away. He said to me, look, can you take over as the DJ while I'm away? Because I don't want to ruin what he was building up. And to be fair, he was at a turning point where he wasn't trying to do the road thing anymore. He just wanted to start sort of focusing, going into music and looking for other things to do. So in that sense, I had to support. I felt like supporting him. It was coming from a genuine place. So I jumped in and I really didn't want to because I didn't like MCs at that point.
Really?
Yeah, well, that style of MCing. I started like that. That's how I started, but at that point, I was past it. I was playing like really underground UK garage. That was like two-step, yeah? And it wasn't for MCs, unless you was a host.
More like a singer.
No, like a host, someone who just said like couple words.
Okay. You literally wanted minimal.
Minimal. Yeah, straight. But so anyway, once that started, I started bringing my own records and mixing them with my brother's other records, and then slowly but surely, the ones that I was playing before I stopped playing them, and I started using my brother's record bag, and then I started to see what was working. Also, the MCs would tell me like, play this one, play that one, play this one, and I ended up playing songs I didn't really like. But then when the vibe started happening, I was like, yeah, this is a vibe. I like this vibe. But that was just taking me back to how I started. So then I started to enjoy that. And from there, it just Sharky, who else joined? DWE, Hyper joined next. And then Jammer come on board. Then Then eventually Kano, Monkey, Gets, Footsie was in there. There was quite a few of us here.
And are you all from the same kind of area then in London?
Yeah, all very local. We were all within a few miles apart.
Yeah.
Like Forest Gate, Plaistow. I think Kane was from the East Dam.
And was that like beneficial, in like financially beneficial when you started to go to like set, or was it like, because there's a lot of you in a crew?
Yeah, there was a lot of us in the crew, but financially beneficial at that time, I was probably all right because I was the main DJ. So what would happen was no one would book all 6 or 7. They'd book me plus 2, and their favourite 2.
So
and
you was that.
So I was always there.
Well, that's how Marcus boxed it off, innit?
Yeah, yeah.
You're taking over.
Yeah. But I mean, we wasn't making huge amounts of money, no. But I was still all right.
Yeah.
But
What? Go on.
This is what happened. This is what I mean. What started happening was I started to learn about money. Yeah. Now let me just paint a picture for you. Remember, I'm always searching for validation. My validation comes from not having much. Everyone's got and I don't have. So I need to feel that because I don't like how I feel. I need to look like everyone else. So I'll act up to just keep you away from what's really going on and how I really feel. So I didn't have much growing up, even though my mum, don't get me wrong, done everything they could. My mum and dad done everything they could, yeah? 6 boys, not easy, yeah?
Wow.
So when I learned to get money, now it's exterior, cars, clothes, women, champagne, whatever. That's what I'm doing. And as well as now, Nasty's taking off with my habits, not my habits, my admiration. Yeah, for females. You brought up some challenges because I was then playing up on this as well. And then, yeah.
You know the tune Girls Love Nasty? Where was you around that time?
What song is that again? Oh yeah, that came later. That was after the crew was like sort of on a decline.
Was it?
Yeah. So that was a late one. You remember Criminals in there?
It was
double one that's not around at that time, but it was the crew was on a decline. That was it's quite a strange period, but it was a very iconic track and video.
Yeah, I think I was saying, I think I've seen an interview with Nasty Jack where he said about the alternating MCs because it was too many of you in there, like, and you couldn't you couldn't get booked all together.
Yeah.
So you're telling me like the glory days, would you say, was more like Sidewinder Braves and shit like that?
Yeah, 100% Sidewinder. Big up Sidewinder. And there.
Classic. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Sidewinder. La Cosa Nostra started to do a few grime bits, which was a predominantly garage rave. Yeah, it was just a period of that.
Yeah. And your cocaine use at this time, were you still using?
That, yeah, it was. This is when it was like I was, but it wasn't a problem as such then. But it definitely was because I was going missing for 3 days. But
she was doing the benders.
You would, yeah, of course, but you wouldn't know because my thing. Listen, the whole lie of the Tony Montana, you see like what you see in Wolf of Wall Street, just think about the ending before you think about anything before, yeah? But all of that before is what I thought I was living. Do you know what I mean? Because that's who I thought I was at the time because I had things around me.
Well, how was you affording it, bro?
Well, you duck and dive, innit? I was ducking and diving, to say the least. And that's what I mean. And I found something that was... When I find something I can do, I'll go and do it to the best of my ability until I learn how to do it to the best of my ability and get the best from it, or the most that I can, if I decide to pick up on a certain subject, let's say. And I found that in something. And so I started to behave like I'd made it.
Yeah.
I didn't make it. I was far from it. But that's how I was behaving. So behind closed doors, I was
Struggling.
No, not struggling at first. I was struggling, but I didn't know I was struggling.
Yeah.
That's the word. Yeah, I was in trouble. I didn't know.
Mm. Yeah. Did you travel? Did you go did you do like Napa and all that stuff?
I've done Napa.
But back then as well, yeah. Like that was, and even doing that and shit must make you feel like you're doing well, innit?
Yeah, yeah. Was eventful.
Was it?
Yeah.
You're very careful with what you say, innit? Like you don't say too much. Like,
you know why as well? Because
do you cringe as well about a lot of it? Do you like?
No.
Just don't want to drop anything.
Yeah, no, I can. Some of it, yes. I mean, like, looking back, a lot of the stuff that's happened, I had to go through, I had to do to get to where I'm at today. I definitely had to do that. So I don't cringe about anything that I've done. I'm more empathetic to that old version of myself.
Yeah.
Because that person that I was is not me today. And that person there did not even know what is going on. Like, I was so wrapped up in it. From such a young age, I think 23 years of not knowing who you are, what you're doing. You just think you're doing things because you like them. And like, yeah, this is how I am. This is how I should be. Bravado. It is coming out of addiction, yeah, and being in recovery. I can't explain it. It's almost like I wasn't alive for those 23 years. Like I was asleep, or I can't explain how night and day it is. And it's the sad thing about it is that I can only speak on my experience here, that I could have gone through my whole life living like that and not knowing what was on the other side of that. Do you know what I mean? Look, for 1 year, this is 13 months. Last year, I was still in rehab for the second time round. All right. I keep going off on one. You got me going.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, yeah, basically last year, I was in rehab, and that was my second time there, yeah? Now, I went through all this stage of learning about what addiction is and whatever. Now, if you're in addiction, yeah, you can't fix something you don't understand. I genuinely believe that. I did not understand what it was, so I couldn't fix it. So even though I'd been to rehab twice, that was the first time. So the first time I went, I learned about it. I relapsed at 8 months. Now, I was clean. Boom, I'm doing all this stuff. Stuff was coming back to me, but my behaviours was still all mad. But when I relapsed and I couldn't look myself in the mirror, I knew who I was before and what I was running from. Because that shame and embarrassment of not being able to look someone in their face with your chest and say, this is who I am, I don't care. I don't care. Like, my ego's gone, everything. Like, I don't care what you think about me. The main thing is, if I look in the mirror and I can't do that, I'm going to go and bury everything, bury my face in whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because I can't take how I feel and who I really am. But now I can look anyone in their face. I don't care what you know about me. I don't care. Like, this is me. There's no ego. The ego still exists, but I don't care. And that's the beauty of being clean.
Yeah. Do you feel like people have to go through that? You have to go through that kind of relapse, or that kind of, I wouldn't back to square. Not back. No, I don't want to say it, and I wouldn't want to wish it on anyone.
Yeah. No,
but do you think that's a gift in itself of realizing?
I would say
fucking hell
is part of the process. But
okay.
I wouldn't suggest it for anyone because it took me to such a dark place that I didn't even want to be there anymore. I could not see a way out of how I felt. I couldn't get back into rehab. Now, I just definitely want to say you don't have to go to rehab to get clean. There are other ways, because I remember sitting there thinking, how much is this? On a come down or whatever. I searched the internet, get an email back, 30k for 28 days. I ain't got 30k, and if I've got 30k, I'm pretty sure I can find something to use it on better than getting clean.
Yeah.
And that's a mad way of thinking as well. If you think about it, 30k, I can use that. It'd be better than getting clean. Like, think about it.
No.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
It'd be better than getting clean. But that would have been my thought process.
Yeah.
And so what I was trying to say is that relapse process, yes, it is definitely shaped of my recovery, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to. If you do, it's part.
It is probably a powerful thing. But like you said, there's probably people out there who they knock it on the head. They do get clean, and they realise then they just only have to look back at what they've been rather than going through it again till a relapse. Touch wood, I haven't had one on this time round, this 4-year journey.
Yeah.
But I was having, I classed them as
4 years, bro.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? No, it's mad. I cannot believe it. Because before that, it was weeks, bro. It was weeks. It was I used to class going to prison as I'm in sobriety. No work on myself, just lock me away, and But the moment I get out, I'm going to just have one more go, Bro, I was never clean.
But listen, this is a really common thing. I've moved homes, I've been to prison, I've gone to new countries, I've done everything. I'm gonna get clean when I get there. No, I need to do this, but I'm taking myself with me. If I've done no work, the way that I was, put me on a desert, I will find it if I want it. No matter what. Listen, I'll tell you an honest story. I went to somewhere, a location that was 6 hours away. The person I was with said, listen, when we go to this particular place, you can't get it there, so I feel like you're safe there. Because you never get it. You never want to get it when we go to this particular place. So that tells me, to my brain, watch this.
Yeah.
So I go to this place 6 hours away, and within an hour, I've got what I need. So that just shows me that no matter where I go, I take myself with me. And it's a very, very common thing. So what I'm trying to say, this stuff is only going to work if you find out what is actually happening with you.
Yeah.
Me.
For those people, those people who say, listen, I'm moving away, I'm getting out of here, it's the place, it can be a factor. It's definitely a factor, but that's not the be-all and end-all, and that's not the reason why you are going to stop.
Yeah.
Because you're taking your mindset with you wherever 100%. You go.
And what about this one? I'm going to start the gym. I'm going to start the gym. It's not going to fix it. It's not going to fix it. No. And I hope this is it's not coming across as condescending and such.
No. Because this is just, you're telling people what you've gone through yourself and where you're learning from.
Going to the gym is not going to help. Changing your diet, going to another country, getting in a new relationship, leaving your partner, having a kid, nothing external is going to fix.
Again, they're all good factors of when you are clean, they will help. They will help keep you in recovery, I think, once you've tackled what you are actually...
Yeah.
Once you, like gym for me now is massive.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't worked on myself beforehand, the gym wouldn't just stop me from taking heroin.
100%. The gym, I will always push for the gym, saying that it's got massive health benefits. It's good for the mind, 100%. But without doing the work on yourself, look, for instance, addiction is not just about drugs. Yeah. People use drugs because they're addicts. Using the drugs don't make them addicts, for me. But so my addiction can play out in many ways, with women, with food, with gym, with clothes, with anything, I can find anything to obsess over. I've got obsessive thinking. That's what I suffer with. And I've something to avoid the way I'm feeling. So the key thing what I need to work on is my behaviours and becoming self-aware about my behaviours because if I don't know, I can start behaving in certain ways that's going to lead me to using again.
All right, here's one for you then, right? My mum used to always say to me, you've got an addictive personality.
Yeah.
Colin, you've got an addictive personality. You just need to find something positive to be addicted to.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a bad thing? Because, right now, like I'm addicted to, staying healthy, doing this, doing that, but am I tackling my addictive nature? Because one day I might go back to something negative.
All right, cool. So this is what it's about, self-awareness, being self-aware. If I keep going to the gym, or for instance, I keep doing a certain behavior, if I'm self-aware that I'm doing this, I can then look at, why am I doing this? Like, what am I trying to change? Moderation, look at why I'm doing it. What is the reason behind me actually doing that? And then the answer is there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if I'm just going to the gym, but I'm walking in the room with my top off and I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting for you to go, oh, you mate. Or girls like, oh, like, then I'm doing it for validation. I'm not going to the gym because I just want to feel for myself. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing it for exterior. So what happens if I can't go to the gym anymore, and I can't get validated? How do I feel? How do I fix myself? Because I can't control how I feel. What happens? Or, look, for instance, like loads of behaviors need to change. There's nothing to do, what you may feel, or nothing to do with addiction. Yeah. Cheating. Cheat on your missus, yeah? All right, cool. You might think, oh, yeah, boom, no one will know. All of these no one will know things.
You know.
I know. You can lie to everyone but yourself. You carry that stuff around. These are behaviors that eventually you start piling them on and they become too heavy for you that you start to run from them. Yeah. And the only way to escape from how you're feeling with someone with a drug problem is to bury it with drugs. Yeah. I said those sort of things need to change. I can't behave. I can't be dishonest and all of that. I can't treat people a certain way because of how not because it's selfish as it sounds. It's not because of how it's going to make you feel, because of how it's going to make me feel. Because if I treat you like that and I know it's wrong and I walk away knowing, why did I do that to that person? Now I upset that person and I don't know how to make an amends to that person and I feel a certain way. Those sort of behaviours is what keeps me clean, by being aware not to do those sort of things. So it's not just about drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so true. They say about tackling the root problem and stuff, don't they? The root cause.
Yeah. So that's it. But everyone's different. That's my experience.
Everyone is different, yeah. But a lot of people are stuck on the same issue. Everyone's different, but isn't it funny how a lot of people are struggling with the same demon?
Yeah.
We live in a time now where cocaine and alcohol, it's just everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It was more a bit of a like taboo type thing back in the day. Now it's more openly used. Alcohol is another one as well. Can't drink. That needs to be said as well. Alcohol is very dangerous.
So your problem was cocaine, yeah?
Cocaine.
Okay, so
alcohol.
What? That's what I'm trying to get at. Well, I want to, for people out there who, I've got some friends, close friends, struggling. Their life structure, and what they've always known, is graft, weekend, football or rugby, boozer. Yeah? Then that goes on to the bag, yeah?
Yeah.
So they will come and say, I've got a problem with the coke, man. Like, I've got a... But, we know that the triggers there is the drinking, which is a big thing that you need to chop off there, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
What you say to people who don't see that, and also, I know it's the $1 million question, but just for someone who might not want to hear it, but has to hear it, what would you say to those people?
Alcohol is a trigger. No, I'm laughing. Alcohol is definitely a trigger, and alcohol is a drug. It's definitely a drug, yeah? Alcohol, look at what it does to people. It can become a physical dependency. And if you drink, take one sip, and it leads you to picking up a substance, the answer's in front of you. Unfortunately, I've been there and I can't hear it because you know what my brain will tell me? I'll just have one. I only need 2 sips before I'm off, or 1 sip, I'm off. And that's just the madness, the insanity of using substances, because your head will lie to you. You're not, I wasn't well. You're not well. Unfortunately, I hate to tell you, if you're in addiction, you're not well.
No, I agree, mate.
I agree, not well. And I would like to also add, I do have compassion for others, because the way I said that was like, I don't care about what anyone else. If I hurt someone, I care about how I feel. But also what I have grown is compassion, which I must say sometimes I lacked a lot of compassion for others.
Yeah, well, people say addiction's selfish, and you saying about, me hurting someone's feeling, but it's making me feel that way. That is selfish in a way, isn't it?
But just had to say, what else is selfish? Recovery.
Yeah, of course it is.
I've got to cut off all my friends who I've grown up with. If you still use, we start to have less in common.
Yeah.
You start to realise that the conversations that you have and the only connection what you had was about using.
That was the conduit.
That was it. So and on top of that, it becomes dangerous for me when I'm in early days for me to be around someone that is still using. So I have to be selfish too in recovery to protect myself. The whole thing about recovery and being clean is being selfish.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's dangerous, basically.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. What are some of your lowest points in addiction? I don't want to go for the lowest yet, because I feel there's many, like I had many low points, which I thought this was it, and it wasn't. And then people used to say, when you're at rock bottom. And I used to be like, when the I swear I was at rock bottom last week. That was the lowest, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what? There's always a trapdoor. That's the saying. There's always a trapdoor. So whatever low you can get, there's always one lower. So that's what's waiting for me right now, is a different trapdoor to what I was in. So if I went back to, I'm telling you, I didn't want to be here anymore. There's a trapdoor that can go lower than that. And I don't know if that's 6 foot, but there is one that is lower than that. And that's, the trapdoor will always open. So some of my lowest points, there's so many. I've hit some lows, man. And
every time, like, I don't want to touch your shit again.
Yeah, every time I'm done. But then the next day I'm doing it again. Every time. And you know what? That's, again, lack of understanding. I've had, like, sober periods where I'd be clean for, like, I don't know, 6 weeks, and then I think I can just have one. Like, you know what I mean? And it's mad. But listen, that's not a relapse if you're not in recovery. That's my thing, yeah? If you have no knowledge about what you're suffering with, I can't really call it a relapse, because I haven't gone to do any work or find out any knowledge about what I suffer with. So if I'm not clued up to what I'm doing, I can't really call it a relapse. I just had a good period of sobriety. Do you know what I mean? But that just one business is madness. Just one drink, one whatever, it just doesn't exist. Ask yourself, when, I want to ask anyone, when have you just had one? From when you started, tell me the time when you just had one.
Yeah.
And not everyone's an addict. So some people may be able to say, I just had one last night. But can you really have one? Do you know who I'm speaking to? If this resonates with you, you know what I'm saying. When was the last time you just had one? I don't know.
Yeah, and those people who you say just can take it or leave it. I'm one of them. I can take it or leave it.
Yeah, they're foreign to me. Yeah, I've seen them though. I've seen them, but it's not everyone suffers with what I suffer with. Yeah, and I've got to say that. And now you see why I try and avoid this statement sometimes, because everyone will say, that's me. That's me. Yeah, that's me.
It's not though, is it?
Do you know what? But you know what? It's so painful, yeah. And sometimes when I watch someone that I care about going through this and be in the position that I was in, it's so difficult to watch on parents.
Yeah,
so difficult.
I agree
to watch, because they really, and you don't know if they're ever going to get it. Some people, I just feel like, I don't know if you're ever going to get it. So my thing is just leading by example, doing what I'm doing, and hopefully praying that people get it.
Yeah. So you What was the first year you did go into, you know, what was the first time? It was not long ago,
2 years ago.
2 years ago, wow. And how at your highest or your lowest, what was you using?
Cocaine. Oh, how much?
Yeah.
At my lowest was like minimal amounts a day, but daily.
The lowest time would be your highest amount of use. So what
my highest amount of use. I don't know if I want to say that. The reason why I don't want to say that is because I would hate for my kids to see what I was spending or hear what I was spending when I wasn't turning up for them. Yeah? That is the realest answer I can give you. Or any family member, or any friend, or anyone to see or hear what I was spending when I was using and I wasn't turning up for them, let alone myself. I wouldn't want to share that information. I just think, why? This is me today. Yeah.
I hear that, bro. Yeah. And I respect that. For those people who don't know, you went through the 12-step program, yeah? Is that right?
Yeah. I'm still going through it, so I haven't completed it. But I'm currently doing it, yeah.
So do you go to meetings and stuff like that?
I do meetings 3 times a week. I always have to address my addiction every day. It's just something, I mean, I wouldn't like for people to assume that you just go to rehab, come out and you're brand new. You're brand new. You don't have to always address it. But what's interesting, well, that's my story. But I want to ask you something because you spoke to me about something. Now, this is why I say, look, you don't always have to go to rehab. There are other ways. Now, I have my experience around it and my thoughts around how I got clean. But you have got a very interesting story on how you found recovery and being clean.
Yeah.
Do you do meetings?
No.
You don't?
It's mad. It's mad. It's mad because I was speaking to my uncle who lives in Hampton Wick, Kingston.
Yeah.
I was up there the other week and he's been doing AA meetings for years. Yeah. He's like 20 years clean now. Got like 6 sponsees. And he keeps saying to me like, you need to come to the meetings. Yeah. He's like, you ain't clean until you've come to the meetings. Like one of them, like, and like, there's loads of things that I see from 12 steps that I take into my recovery. Yeah. Like I don't go to these meetings, but obviously I work as a substance misuse worker, so I feel like I do a lot of smart recovery and all that type of stuff as well. Yeah. But yeah, like I tried 12 steps. I remember going to a rehab, but I think it wasn't my time at that time. I went to the rehab because my mum and dad took me there, okay? And I remember waking up in the middle of the night and I had this Scottish fella. There's always a Scottish guy in a rehab. Always a jock, like, do you know what I mean? I was in the middle of Wales and there's this Scottish fella, right? And I can hear, like, I'm not even really sleeping, but I've woke up and he's like sat on the edge of my bed praying. And it kind of weirded me out, like, and I remember leaving, I left, yeah, and it was a bit mad, like, yeah, he was like fucking 3 weeks, you know, into his withdrawals as well. He was coming off amphetamine and all sorts of drugs, so he was like hallucinating and all. But it just creeped me out, and I remember leaving, and I just thought, nah, I ain't doing that 12 steps again. Like, I just didn't want to face it. But I got clean. I stopped taking heroin and crack because I almost died, and it just shit me up. And I thought, this is my time. Like, I knew this was my lowest point. And I went on to some medication. So in 12 steps, people would say I'm not clean because I'm still using medication. Yeah. But then when does the buck stop? Like, so if you got a bad back and you're taking painkillers, are you not clean? Really? Yeah. Do you get me? Yeah. So I always thought, well, no, my problem has always been heroin and crack. I steal for it. I rob people for it. I hurt myself for it. If I don't take those 2 drugs that are really making me a bad person and I'm able to live a normal life and provide and be at peace, then I'm in recovery. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So I went on to a injection that I take once a month to block opiates. Doesn't tackle the crack, the cocaine. Doesn't tackle that. It just tackles the opiates. So I still had to do work on myself to not take crack or cocaine anymore. But the opiate problem was tackled by taking this blocker. And I haven't taken any of it. I haven't taken crack or any of those drugs since that moment. Now, one of the reasons why I think I've stopped taking cocaine is because when I used to take... I'm diagnosed severe OCD and ADHD, and I have to do rituals every day. It controls my life, and if I don't do these rituals, I feel like something bad's going to happen to like a loved one or something like that. Yeah, that's what I've been diagnosed with, and I used to take drugs to mask that. That's how I got on drugs in the first place. Yeah. At the time, I didn't even know I had this problem.
Yeah,
I didn't go to a doctor's. I didn't speak to anyone about it. I just used weed to suppress it.
Yeah.
But where I smoked so much weed and abused it, it used to make me paranoid. So I went on to other drugs, and that's how I got to where I went. Never tackled my issues. So when I was on heroin, I'd only smoke crack if I had heroin to come down, because cocaine is a stimulant, and it would make me even worse with my OCD, and it would magnify it. So once I tackled my opiate, my heroin problem with this injection, it was like killing two birds with one stone, because I would never take crack on its own, because I know how it would make me mentally. So that's kind of how I've gone about being clean, like, you know. So it's worked to me, you know. I'm still, you know, I'm living a wholesome life now. I've got a fiance, I've got a job, I do this. But yeah, if I was in and that's where I am at that conflict with 12 steps, because if it was because in the 12-step program, I'm not clean to them.
That's
Do you get me?
Yeah. All right, cool.
That's where I am with it. I think, right, my conflict is this, I'll be real with you.
Yeah.
With 12 steps, yeah, it's their way or there's no way. Where I think there's many ways to recovery.
Yeah, that's very true though. There's many ways. It's what works for you. Look, you're sitting there clean. Look what you're doing. For me, what the 12 steps mainly is just about unlocking and looking at why I behave how I behave, putting it on paper and looking at it and not carrying it around with me, and addressing my behaviours, because I can be behaving in a certain way that I'm not even aware of. So having to sit and think about, why did this happen? When did this happen? X, Y, Z. What did I do here? Becoming honest. Those are the sort of things which are required when you're doing that program. So I don't know. There's definitely benefits in it.
Do you think that, like, maybe my OCD could be something that 12 steps could help?
I think your addiction, yeah, it can help. Even though you're taking this injection, do you feel you're still an addict?
There's a part of me that does, yeah. Well, I don't feel like
do you feel that? Would you?
I just feel like I'm still tied to that. Like,
let me reword it. Let me reword it. Are you still an addict?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. So that's all you need to address. I'm still an addict. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I'm a recovering addict. But what I'm trying to say is that illness is never going to leave me, which is why I have to address it all the time. So you're addressing it in one way. For me, my honest opinion, I don't see you as someone that is behaving in, I don't know you enough though, who's behaving in a way that needs to be addressed. But I have met some people, because there's a difference in being clean and being in recovery.
Yeah,
because there's something called clean and crazy. Yeah. And clean and crazy is basically you've stopped using, but you still behave the same way as when you're using. So that's only going to end one way. It might be 5 years, it might be 10 years, it might be 5 days. But without doing the work, you're not going to understand why you led back to that point. Do you know what I mean?
Is that a thing in...
Clean and crazy, yeah. Hell yeah, clean and crazy. I've met loads of people that's even in recovery, even in doing 12 steps programs, people can still be clean and crazy. I can be clean and still cheating, stealing, shotting. There's people who sell and do all of this sort of stuff. I shouldn't really say this. That's in recovery, and go into places that like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's madness. That's only going to end one way. It's only going to end one way.
What way is that?
You're going to use again. And when you use again, it's going to be worse than when you started. You're going to go straight back to the same place where you finished. No matter how long it was, you was in a dark place that led you to find recovery in the first place. The minute you touch it again, you go straight back to where you started off, and you might not make it back. That's what's going to happen. That's what I'm just serious about my stuff. I could, at any given day, if I don't do what I want, do what I'm supposed to, or decide that, oh yeah, I don't need this anymore. I'm not an addict now. It's all right. And those thoughts can come. I'll be all right. They can come. That they can come. Boy, I don't need a meeting today. I'll be all right. I'll just leave it 2 weeks. Or I'll go and cheat. I'll go and do this. I guarantee you, I'll do this. If I start doing all things like that, it's leading me there. And I don't want to go there. I like living.
Being Wales' biggest podcast means only one thing. We need to be sponsored by Wales' biggest clothing brand, Weekend Offender. They've been in the game for well over a decade now, and they still hold weight within the casual scene. So if you want a deal on the hottest seasonal drops, then hit the discount code below at Stay Central. Clean and crazy. Crazy and clean. That's mad. But it's so true though, isn't it? It's like, yeah, you're not working on anything, are you? You're just stopping what you're taking, but you're not tackling. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You've got to do work on yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, 100%. You know what else as well? Like, using a substance is the solution to how you feel. It's not the problem. The drugs are actually the solution. You're trying to fix something. So you're going to go and still take away your solution to how you feel, and then you're left with how you feel again. So what do you do with how you really feel? The main thing about, it's particularly around substance or any sort of addiction, because there's many cross addictions, but is just learning to sit with that,
how you feel,
with how you feel. As bad as it sounds, that's all it is. Like, how many times do you feel happy and you go, oh, celebrate, drink. Oh, I feel sad, I'm pissed off, boom, 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 drink. Oh, I'm jealous, she pissed me off.
It's learning to be flat.
Yeah, I'm angry. Oh, drink. Like, just sit with that anger. Sit with any feeling. But you know what? When you suppress it for so long, you don't feel nothing. Yeah. So when you do have those 5 days or whatever, and you feel something, it is so heightened that you only know one thing. So when you say, oh, I'm triggered or this, it's not, you just feel a certain way. I feel like something, and you get a feeling and it becomes uncomfortable that you can't, you don't know anything else.
Sorry, bro, I had to go. I'm not boring you.
Yeah.
No, that's what my father used to say to me, like, because he used to say, why you taking something? You know, if I felt down, I'd take something. If I felt high, I'd take something. If I felt shit, I'd take something. And I'd be like, yeah, well, just life's shit. Life's boring. It's boring, like, you know? He's like, life is shit. Yeah. Life is shit, like, it, you know. Life is what you make it, of course. But, you know.
Life ain't shit.
And life is, bro.
I'll tell you what, existing is shit. When you living is great.
Yeah.
There's a difference. I was existing. I was just here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't present. Yeah. Living ups and downs are going to happen. But I just feel like that's normal.
Yeah. Well, that's something that, you know, since I have got clean and turned my life around and done some work on myself, one of the things that obviously came back was my OCD. And, you know, I've actually done 25 counselling sessions now. Never thought I'd do counselling. I've done 25 counselling sessions working on my OCD, and it's been so beneficial. It's never going to go. I'm always going to have it, but it's learning to deal with it. It's learning how to live with that, when before I was just suppressing and masking with Class A drugs.
Yeah. And to be fair, something like that, when you're hyperactive or whatever, I mean, an opiate is going to calm me down. Weed is going to calm me down. So it's probably feeling like that's what I needed in order to. So that's why it's important to address certain things, because I always thought more of myself as quite a shy person. I've come to realise that I've got ADHD. I'm 100 miles an hour. As you can see, I don't shut up. Yeah. And I just need to do things, get up, go, boom, boom. I have to keep busy. Yeah. So I'm suppressing all that stuff as well. I'm there thinking I'm shy. I'm shy. At first I was shy because I don't know why. But then when I started smoking weed and stuff, I didn't even get to see this side of me. I didn't even know this side of me existed. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know I could be confident. I didn't know I didn't need anything. Like I'm just a live wire. I thought I would just like to be busy and I'm just a workaholic. Yeah. And that stuff was always around.
A workaholic, never worked a day in his life.
Yeah, like anything I do, I work hard at. Yeah.
No, I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah.
So, give me your day and night. Give me your before and after. Explain in your own words what it's like.
What, my before and after? So before, I was really selfish with my time, and like I wasn't emotionally available to anyone. Yeah, just me. I'd take, steal, rob, not always intentionally. I was very unreliable. When I say I'd take, rob and steal, that's quite strong, because I don't think that I ever. There was a period in my younger life when I was like that, and I grew out of it, and I started to see that it doesn't make me feel good and paint me in a good light, and I didn't like that, because I like validation, don't I? So people saying, "Oh, he's a thief," it don't work in my favour.
Yeah.
So if I took something, I'd pay it back. All of that sort of stuff. So I sort of grew out of that side of things. But then what started to happen was, obviously, addiction is a very powerful thing. So I will go into a situation with the best intentions, and end up messing it up. Yeah. So anything I touched, I messed up.
And then because of that, you get in more in a vicious circle, because the reason you wanted was gratification. Yeah. You've now got reputation instead.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to bury my head in the sand more. And be more reckless.
Yeah. Or have to do even more of that. And then try and mask that as well.
Yeah, pay Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, basically. All of that. So all of that sort of stuff was happening, and like I said, a lot of it I've gone into with the best intentions, not in understanding what was going on with me, and they're just messing it up, basically. I've had many chances. I've had some great people around me that's helped me. Some people have come into my life and helped me that, you know, I just wouldn't have expected, and you get me, and I've messed that up. I've got so much amends to make as well. Do you know what I mean? To go back and correct things that I've done wrong to people.
Yeah.
I've got all of that to come. But yeah, that was it. Today I'm reliable. Yeah, I turn up. I'm emotionally available for my family at times. I don't always get it right. I still make mistakes, but not detrimental mistakes. And I'm aware of the mistakes, and I try to correct them as soon as possible when I make them, if I make them. But I'm definitely not perfect, but I'm definitely not that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In London, obviously you're a London boy, is cocaine as accepted and widespread as here amongst the black community? Because I thought it was taboo as well. Like, I thought, like, you know, especially old grime lyrics you hear. Bow cat is one thing they wouldn't do, and sniff cocaine was another. But
what age were they when they said that?
Well, yeah, I'm looking at.
It's tough because I can't speak for everyone. Do you know what I mean? But my perception of it is it is more widely available
and widely accepted.
I don't know about accepted, but yeah, a lot more people use it, and maybe a little bit more accepted now. It's just like, oh, he does that or they do that. It's not as with that particular drug, not as much. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know, but I can only speak on myself, man. I don't know what anyone else's perceptions are.
So you didn't have like no like sniffing partners and all that?
Of course I did, loads.
Yeah,
but I don't know about to.
Yeah, no, I'm not expecting you to name names, bro. Don't worry.
You wouldn't know them anyway. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's just.
And do you not take anything now then?
Nothing, no alcohol, no nothing. I had a problem with steroids as well.
True, yeah, you said.
Yeah, I had a little issue with that as well. Because when I started going to the gym, I started going to the gym on steroids, so I didn't know anything else. So coming off of them was quite difficult for me. It was the very last thing I stopped taking. But yeah, anything mind altering, I'd stay away. Yeah, just stay away from it. Like,
you've just got to learn to live with yourself bare, innit? And find emotions to support you along those ways.
Yeah, 100%. That's it, really.
So right. So let's talk about like now, like what you're doing, bro, because you're so active. Would you say that this is part of your recovery, doing what you're doing right now?
This is everything to me. It's like that whole 23 years what I wiped out, I suppressed who I could become, which is why I'm so passionate about. I don't care about sitting there and talking about that. I was in addiction. I'm in addiction. I'm in recovery, because there's many people like me that are not going to reach their full potential because they're suffering and they don't know they're suffering. What is happening now is 1,000,000% because I'm in recovery. I'm not saying it's going to be everyone's story, but that is my story. I would not be doing what I'm doing today without recovery. That 7-year-old boy who was drawing on those boxes was always meant to be me today. That dream was taken the minute I picked up a substance. Yeah? That's the honest truth. Like, no one should have to go through that. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, what is happening today is because of that. You know, and that's it. So
no, it's deep, bro. Yeah. Like, I watch it, like I follow your stuff, man. And it's not just because I follow you that I see. Like, I've seen you on like my friend's algorithm, and I'm like, oh, you follow him? He's like, nah, who's this geezer? I'm like, bro, like, I'm so proud to see it. Like, I don't even like. We've met and like we speak now, but I'm just so proud to see like what you're doing.
Yeah,
you're on the road every day, and you know, you're vibing with so many random people. It's not just artists who you do it. Like, you see the videos you do, the people you're bringing together.
Yeah.
It's something that we need right now in this world, in this fucked up world we're living in, where everything is negative. Let's just stick to this country right now where we are, and how divided this country is. And you see you there just vibing to your decks, playing some music, bro. You just see people coming together, man. It's truly special. And I believe the same way what you've just said, I resonate with why I'm here. I bet you have no regrets, do you? Like, if you could do it again, you would do it the same way, wouldn't you?
I feel like I would have to. I don't know. Actually, I would never pick up a substance. But with what I would say is, I would do it again, and I would not have wasted those 23 years. But what I would say is, if I had the knowledge what I had now, and could go back and take this with me, I would go back. But if I can't, then I'd have to go and do it all again.
And to touch on like the trigger issue and you know, familiar places. You was obviously a DJing with a cocaine problem. So what, like right now, go into places where there is bare people, bare girls, bare man them, bare drink, bare drugs. What is that like for you?
Right now, it's not difficult. I would say I'm the most content I've ever been around such a subject. I go to use a toilet, I can hear people using in the cubicles next to me. I've come out of the toilets, I've seen people using, people are drinking. But I'm comfortable with this feeling happy and content now. And to experience this feeling happy without not needing anything is the best high I can ever have. Because I can leave there, I wake up in the morning at 7 again, like I'm happy, I'm still enjoying myself. There, being present, I'm fully aware. If anything, I'm just looking around thinking like, whoa. Yeah. So that's the place where I am today. That's where I am.
That's a good place to be, where you look at, you know, everyone else around you doing what you used to always do and thinking, wow. Not in a nasty way, not in a negative way, like check these fucking idiots, but in a way of just like, wow, you know.
I've come a long way.
You've come a long way.
A long way, a very long way, because that used to look attractive to me. It's not attractive to me anymore, and that's just my truth. I see it, and it's not attractive to me, you know.
Has anyone advised you, like, through the 12 steps, maybe, like, it's not a good idea to be a DJ?
No, I've got a sponsor at first. I mean, when I first went to rehab, they just told me, because my whole thing, there was a period I stopped DJing because I knew that it was a massive trigger. There's drink, there's alcohol, there's women. There's drink, there's drugs, there's women, yeah?
The Holy Grail.
Yeah, you can look if that's what you want to call it. Oh, you know what I mean?
It's one of the most common, isn't it?
Yeah.
The 3 common.
Yeah, but you know, it's not. For me at the time, I knew I wanted to stop. I just didn't know how to. I just knew that I wanted to know how to stop. I didn't know how to. No matter what I did, I always knew I needed to know how to stop at least. I need to educate myself around what's going on. So I stopped. I knew, first of all, a trigger. Stop DJing. I was willing, what I'm trying to say, to do whatever I had to do to stop, because slowly but surely that's what started happening naturally, but that's what I would have had to do anyway. Be willing to do whatever I have to do to stop. If that means I have to leave a relationship, stop working somewhere, drop my friends out, delete my home phone book, change my number, go to rehab on Christmas, stay in a rehab on New Year's Eve, do all of those things, not see my youngest daughter for 3 months, like then 6 months, maybe 9 months. If that's what it means I have to do to stop using, that's what I'm going to do. And that's how difficult it is to make that decision. Because when I was using, if you told me, yeah, you got to go rehab and it's October and I'm not going to come out till January.
Oh, mate.
And I'm using and I DJ, but I'm not doing that much with my DJ. Oh, I might get booking. Oh, Christmas. I'd go on in January. You know what? Christmas, January, all of that. I was past that point when I first went to rehab. I didn't care. I'd eat my Christmas dinner in rehab. I'd celebrate New Year's Eve in rehab because I didn't care, because of what's going to come on the other side of that. How I started to feel, I knew there was something on the other side waiting for me. You know, that I've just started to feel myself again, and that feeling, you know.
But for someone who's actually in that rut right now, who's never seen the other side, and you telling them that you're going to go there from October to January, it's a lot for some people, isn't it? What would you say to them? Like, is it about taking it
there's nothing I can say.
It's taking it one day at a time, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, taking it one day at a time. But what can I say to that person? Because I know I've been that person. Unless that person comes to me or to someone and says, I've got a problem, then that's the start.
Yeah.
By saying to someone, just ask for help. Tell someone, I need help. That is the point of admitting defeat. Admit defeat. If you can't admit defeat, yeah, but I work, I'm not like them, I got a job, yes, boom, boom, I do this, I got a mortgage, I got a house, I've got this,
That's what it is, isn't it? I got a house, I can afford it. I ain't stealing for my drugs.
What you've got is a drug problem. That's what you've got. You've got a drug problem, and you don't listen. You can have everything, all the money in the world, whatever. Your head's not good. It's gone. It's never going to be right. It's still not going to understand and be present and understand the beauty of life. Don't care what you've got exterior.
Yeah.
The inside's messed up. Yeah. The lights are on.
Nobody's home. Yeah. Who's your favourite grime MC ever?
I can't answer that.
Name. All right, and let's do top three then, yeah. What was the greatest grime set you've ever played?
The greatest grime set. I'm gonna get current, yeah. The best, just for what it done recently. The one I done with Chip at his League of My Own re-release, yeah. That one had so many artists there. You just have to count the ones that was missing to say who wasn't there, who was there. You know what I mean? Everyone was there. Just count the ones that weren't there. I know it's probably 2 or 3 people that wasn't there. It was mad. I've got to play loads of old records.
Yeah, I see that
was crazy. That's available on YouTube as well. Sorry, don't keep watching.
Is that done you favours as well, would you say, like?
Yeah, it done quite a bit for me. I mean, in terms of eyes on, done quite a bit for me. Yeah, so the one I did recently with DEE in Shoreditch on the street, that one was received really well. And yeah, if we go old school, probably some sidewinders. I do vividly remember an Eskimo dance at SC1. I always talk about this. There's 2 I vividly remember. One was in Ministry of Sound of Cosa Nostra. That one was epic because it just, some sets just go like, it felt like it was 10 minutes. And when it was over, it's like you look up and you're like, whoa. It's just, I can't explain it. It's like, it feels like 10 minutes. The room's half like dead. You look up at the end and it's just like, mad. And the vibe was, yeah, that one at Ministry I remember, and SC1 Eskimo dance on a really tall like stage, and the MCs was down there.
Oh, you was on the top, was you?
Yeah.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it was wicked. That was a wicked one. There's some footage of that, and that was like most of the crew was there at that time, and it was quite a peak period.
Who is there any grime MCs that you haven't DJ'd for?
Stormzy. I'd like to work with Stormzy one day, to do a set with him. Old school,
yeah.
Like as a new school, old school thing. Even though he's,
he was he got big off playing old school instrumentals.
Yeah. So I'd definitely love to do a set with Stormzy.
Stormzy, bruv.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
But there's not many.
Skepta.
Yeah, I've worked with Skepta.
Yeah.
Not as often, not much that's documented, but we've definitely worked together. If I worked with Jeremy, I believe I've worked with Jeremy as well.
Weren't he at the one the other week with Chip? I swear he was.
Jeremy
wasn't there, was he?
Jeremy and Skepta wasn't there. That's what I mean. You can count the ones that wasn't there. And that's probably the 2.
You've done lots of Wiley, have you?
I've worked with Wiley many a times, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And your brother's a legendary as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Criminal.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Nasty.
Who are the ones? Criminal.
Little Nasty and Marcus Nasty.
Yeah,
A little nasty's north at the moment.
Yeah. I swear he's going back and forth for Scorch at the moment.
That is happening. I've seen it.
Do you see him much, your brother, in that, or?
I don't see my brothers as often as I probably should, but, you know, we're in contact. We speak.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, big family, man.
Yeah.
Mad. So, what have you got in the pipeline? What have you got going on?
So, at the minute, obviously, I'm doing the streams and stuff, but I'm working closely with some brands as well. I mean, a lot of stuff's been going on in that sense. I mean, obviously, I started TikTok last year, and that's what sort of taken off. Do you know what's mad? I will tell this story, yeah? When I come out of rehab, I started TikTok, just DJing, because obviously...
Just dancing.
No, you see that? I was being a fool, innit? So I didn't know what to do. So I definitely knew I wanted to DJ on there, but I started to see what works.
Emergency.
I'm going to delete that video now. Yeah, I need to go back and delete something still. But what I was going to say, so I started DJing it, and I had two pioneers. I just bought some equipment. Let's just say the equipment cost me about 250 quid. The equipment at the time was about 20 years old, yeah? Old stuff. And they still took CDs, yeah? Still took CDs. Decks these days, DJs will know they don't take CDs. They're CDJ 800s. That's what I had. Some small mixer and the Serato, the first generation one, and a laptop, yeah? It cost me about 250 in total, yeah? And I started my TikToks as this DJ in my kitchen, yeah? Didn't care. Ego's gone, flattened, don't care, yeah? Don't care. That's how I started. I was just DJing to the screen. I started to learn a bit more about how to DJ. I had some help. Some people came on board, saw what I was doing, and was like, do it this way, do it that way, whatever.
Teaching you about the TikTok shit.
Yeah, teaching me about how to utilize the app, yeah? While DJing. So obviously I started to see other people going outside and doing things like that. Eventually I did upgrade my equipment when I started to DJ a bit more. I upgraded to something else. But fast forward, I'm going outside. I'm taking my equipment outside. I've got a bit more. We're getting traction. I'm starting to see what's going on. Other people was doing this at the time, but they're not doing grime. They're not bringing MCs. They're not doing what I'm doing, yeah? So that started to grow. More people started to see what I was doing, and I started getting guests on and that sort of thing. And fast forward, now
He's bare.
there's Bear, but not just that. I'm actually working with Pioneer. Pioneer send me stuff, you know, and I'm working with them. So I've gone from that to this, and I'm working with brands and stuff from my kitchen within about 11 months that happened.
Smashed it.
Yeah, so when you say what I'm doing now is to do with recovery, that stuff don't happen when I'm using, and it never would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
No, you're right, bro. That's
all
the
the
message.
brands that's you know allowed me to work with them, you know, and big up that Ministry of Sound as well, working with such large brands. It's just,
You working with Ministry of Sound?
yeah, Ministry, Pioneer,
Luke, yeah? Is he sponsored by Luke?
Yeah.
You're doing a lot of One Extra shows and that as well, and you?
Yeah, well, I've
Jumping on there.
Yeah, I've been on there a few times. But, you know, this is what can happen. Stop.
Recovery is possible.
Recovery is possible, man. And look what's happening.
It's rewarding as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously.
100%. 100%. And it's good for my like, family, friends, children to see that if someone is struggling, there's someone they can go to or look to. And sometimes preaching this stuff, it ain't going to help anyone. It's just doing it. Like, you know what doing it's going to help.
I hear you. I bet you get a lot of people, don't you, message like, can you help? Or
Yeah, I don't mind.
and you are going to, but
Yeah.
that's the main thing to say, innit? It's them who gotta.
Do you know what? Someone's saying that, though. It's not, do you see that? Just that. If that, not about me, if that sparks someone to reach out and say, bro, I need help, you don't know that person has just started their journey.
Yeah.
Just by them sending that message.
Yeah.
Because they might not know me, they might know me, but just by them sending that message, they've started that journey. Whether I reply or whether it works on that day, them sending that message.
Stuff
it's just
fucking, yeah.
So that's all that
I agree.
Yeah.
Have you seen the? There's another stream when he does it in like Brixton Station. You've seen?
Yeah,
do you know
yeah. I do know him. Yeah.
Is he? Was he an old? Is he like just new on this or?
I don't know. Look, that you're speaking about AG, yeah.
I just seen the one about the bird's eye baby mums.
I'll big him up. yeah. Big up AG, because when I spoke about the person who started showing me how to utilize the app, it was actually him.
Okay.
But at the time, you know, we was playing different musics. I mean, like there's a few people. I've got two friends.
Is it competition though? Is it?
Is it competition? I don't know.
Healthy.
Is it not healthy?
I feel with him though, he's just a bricky. Like he's in Brixton and he's just bringing mad characters. Like you're everywhere.
Yeah, I know. And I've never played Barbie Girl or anything like that on the stream. I mean, I'm not saying that, but like that's you know what when I started doing this, I was just authentic. I'm just being me, you know. And other people were sort of playing other musics. And there are other people who play other music. I'm not saying it in that way, but it's just like...
You know what you're getting with you, innit? You're getting a dirty set, like...
Yeah, I'll just keep it authentic. That's what I say.
Yeah.
But big him up, though. Big
him up, man. Yeah. Big him up. He had the one... What the fuck was that? He had that one geezer, the 2 old yard man, though. That's done well, like the clip. Yeah. And obviously, if you do clips like that, I'm sure it helps.
Yeah, no, listen, it's, at the end of the day, we're in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
So if it's entertaining, that's all good and well. But, you know, for me, brand-wise, what I want to do is just be as authentic as possible and have longevity. And I can, at least if I leave this thing, I leave it with my pride.
Yeah, I get you. I can see what you're saying right there. So you're going to play a little set now for us.
Yeah, you're going to jump on the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I haven't jumped on a mic in 10 years, but here we go.
Yeah, man.
But what we do with all our guests, bro, is we ask them to leave us with a positive message. I think it's been positive the whole way down, but in typical MAK10 fashion, down our mic to the people, is there anything they might want to hear?
Just say no.
Just say no to drugs, kids.
Just say no.
And anything's possible.
Yeah.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I know I did. Hopefully, Harrison, this one actually plays. Imagine you get a phone call later.
Oh, allow it.
Right. Yo, till next time, stay central.
Yeah, cool.
The Central Club.